Hey, what's up guys? New deck profile today. I am doing one for Master Duel. It's actually the Prank Kids deck that I showed a couple of days ago in the best deck video. I have been winning literally nonstop with this deck. I'm 9-0, and the only reason I'm not continuing is because it's kind of getting late and I gotta go to sleep. But yeah, the first one, accidentally picked the wrong deck, but after that I literally have not stopped winning. Uh, I'm going to do the deck profile real quick for you guys. I think that this is probably the best and most versatile deck in the game. It can help you unlock a lot of the missions just because the deck can do all types of things. It can burn life points, it can gain life points, it can do things that other decks simply cannot do. I, without a doubt, think it's the best deck in the game, and this is what I did. Maybe later in the game when a lot of people are playing Max C, it might be a little more difficult, but in terms of versatility, this deck can straight up do just about anything. So this is the total deck. I'm going to go card by card here because unfortunately hovering over it doesn't change the card, so I'm going to have to click it one by one. Yeah, this deck is insane. It has access to stuff like Colossus, it has access to Totally Awesome, and then on top of that, the actual engine of the deck isn't really that large, so you have a lot of versatility in what you can play throughout. Definitely a very good deck. Let's start with the deck profile. We play 3 copies of Fansies. These are the Prank Kids. 3 copies of Dropsies. 3 copies of the Lampsies. And 3 copies of the Roxies. You have to max out on all of the Prank Kids monsters, because if you draw any Prank Kids monster, it's basically full combo, and you can end on a double Raigeki during your opponent's turn every single time. It's one of the real awesome parts about this deck is it's incredibly consistent. This is easily the most consistent of all of the combo decks. All you need is any Prank Kids monster, and also the field spell searches a Prank Kids monster on activation. So essentially we have 15 copies of the Prank Kids. Even if we don't draw the polymerization, if we just draw one Prank Kid monster, we can basically go full combo. Then we're playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. You can get one of these for free in the shop. Or not for free, you can get it at a reduced price, and the other 2 you actually have to buy. This entire deck I actually got without spending any gems whatsoever. I just played the single player and then used all of the money that I made to just trade up and get all of this other stuff. So nothing here was everything here was just earned. Nothing was really purchased. We play 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Colossus. The idea behind this is you activate Thunder Dragon Colossus to add 2 Thunder Dragon Colossus from your deck. And you've met the requirement for Thunder Dragon Colossus. Thunder Dragon Colossus just requires you to tribute a the Thunder monster on the field the turn you've activated a Thunder Dragon. So what's cool about that is you activate Thunder Dragon, add 2 more Thunder Dragons, so you've met that condition. But what's cool about this deck is that Prank Kids Fansies is actually a Thunder monster. Also, Battle Butler is also a Thunder monster, and Doodle Doodle Doo is also a Thunder monster. You've got 3 Thunder monsters, so it's super easy to right before you activate Pandemonium, you can just activate the effect of you could just special summon the Thunder Dragon Colossus, and this basically locks your opponent out from searching. It's super good against Sky Strikers. It's super good against a lot of decks that need to search a ton. Very, very good. Good against Drytron. You summon this against Drytron, it's like it's game over. If they don't draw some sort of negate, like impermanence or something, they basically have lost that one. On top of that, this card has protection. You just banish the Thunder, which you discarded this, so you could just banish this, or you could just banish the Fansies if you wanted to. But yeah, Thunder Dragon is very good. Also, Thunder Dragon is good because it gives you an extra card in hand. And to resolve the effect of Roxies, you have to banish a card in hand, then draw, then special summon from deck. So you always have a free card to ditch for the next 2 turns. Next we play Raigeki. I wouldn't typically play this. If I was playing regular Yu-Gi-Oh, regular TCG card Yu-Gi-Oh, I wouldn't play Raigeki in the main deck. But because we are playing in this very weird format where it's a single game, it's not a best 2 out of 3, I have to play stuff like this because sometimes your opponent can set up like an Appaloosa or something like that, or something really difficult to out. So I don't mind having weird stuff like Raigeki in the main deck, just activate it. You can easily replace this with a copy of Max C or something. It doesn't really matter. We play 3 copies of Polymerization. Thank God this is a common. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. There's another one you can earn for free in solo mode. This is the idea behind this is you can all of the Prank Kids are 1-card combos, but if you your opponent ashes the first Prank Kid monster, sometimes you can sort of die right there. If you have polymerization, you can play through it, and if you have the pandemonium, you can play through it. But what's good about Monster Reborn is sometimes, like, let's say you summon Roxy's, link away for the Meow Meow. Yeah, you link away for the Meow Meow, and your opponent ashes the Roxy's. You could just Monster Reborn the Roxy's and then just continue your play. Just go next into the Doodle Doo and basically continue to go full combo. It's like it can never effectively. That's why I just play this here. 3 copies of the Field Spell Searches, and on top of that, when you summon a fusion monster, all of your monsters gain a permanent 500 attack. The other effect is when you summon a Link monster, a Link Prank Kids monster, all of your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack. None of this effect doesn't target, and it's permanent, and it affects all your monsters. It's really good. Typically, when you summon a Thunder Dragon Colossus, I usually beef it up to 3100 the first turn I summon it, and what's awesome about that is Thunder Dragon Colossus at 31 is kind of difficult to out. Most boss monsters are 3000, so... even better that way. Then we play 2 copies of Prank Kids, Prank Kids Pranks. This basically lets you discard a Prank Kids card to summon a token, and it's a Prank Kids token, so you could just use it for all of the various Prank Kid purposes. But its better effect is the other effect, which is you can, at the end phase, target 3 Prank Kids cards in your graveyard and then shuffle them back into the deck and draw a card. And this basically makes sure that your resources are constantly recycling and recycling and recycling. Next, we play Twin Twisters. Again, this is not a card that I would main deck in a typical Yu-Gi-Oh format, but again, this is a single game sort of situation. So the idea behind this card is, if your opponent is playing some sort of really, really annoying back row deck, there's a lot of floodgates available on this, like a ton. Like, one of the most annoying ones is Macrocosmos. It completely shuts this deck down. That is one of the big things that destroys this deck. That's why I main deck the Twin Twisters, because I can't afford to side deck. I can't just be like, all right, game 2, let me just side in all my back row. Hey, I need to main deck this, so Twin Twisters is definitely there. And what's cool about this deck is it has tons of space. It doesn't even matter. You can cut one of these. You can cut the Thunder Dragon package and play even more back row removal if you really wanted to. 3 copies of Pandemonium. This is a quick play polymerization for the archetype, but you have to be mindful that this locks you into Prank Kids for the rest of the turn. But before then, you can make the Thunder Dragon Colossus and the Totally Awesome and the Access Code Talker and whatever you need to make. Then we got 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, one of the best hand traps in the game. I really recommend that you use your points to upgrade to get one of these as quick as possible. Also, we've got Skill Drain at 3. Skill Drain is cool in this deck because if you don't make the Thunder Dragon Colossus, none of your... Yeah, only Totally Awesome and Thunder Dragon Colossus are negatively impacted by Skill Drain. Everything else activates in the graveyard. So you can just activate Skill Drain and then use all of your graveyard Prank Kid effects. And since the card Skill Drain only negates effects on the field and not in the graveyard, you will still be able to resolve everything just fine. Everything will be, peachy and perfect. And on top of that, and there's nothing more to say about that. That's what I like about this. You could just summon a bunch of big monsters, everything activates in grave, and you just win the duel. Then you play 1 copy of Prank Kids Plan. This is a trap card that basically lets you link summon during your opponent's turn if you have it on field. If you don't have it on field, if you have it in grave, you can banish it when your opponent's monster declares an attack. You can banish it and then shuffle as many Prank Kids cards into the deck as possible, and then your opponent's monster loses 100 attack for each of those shuffled. This is good for just recycling all of your resources out of nowhere, and on top of that, most people just forget this card exists, so they run into it. For the extra deck, we play 2 copies of Rocket Ride. This card is like a double Monster Reborn. It can also attack your opponent's life points directly if you make it lose 1,000 attack. Weather Washer is a really underrated one. This one, when it attacks, when any Prank Kids monster attacks, your opponent can't activate card effects in response. Awesome. I just love that effect. And on top of that, this basically is a double Monster Reborn during your opponent's turn. All of the extra deck cards you tribute, and then you do one of their special effects. You tribute this, and you tribute the Rocket Ride in order to get a double Monster Reborn on your turn. This does the double Monster Reborn on your opponent's turn. Additionally, any monster, when you do special summon monsters, they can't be destroyed by battle. Then we've got 1 copy of Colossus, obviously, I said it. This card just stops your opponent from searching, and if you can just banish Thunder Monsters whenever this card would be destroyed, you can just banish the Thunder Monster, and it doesn't get destroyed, which you have like 4 or 5 Thunder Monsters at any given time in the graveyard. We've got Prank Kids Battle Butler. This guy is one of the best cards in the entire deck. Basically, he's the one that allows you to tribute himself and then destroy all monsters your opponent controls. And then if you have the Meow Meow in the graveyard, you can do that twice, which is really, really cool because you can do it twice. You can just banish Meow Meow instead, destroy all your opponent's monsters. Then if they continue to play, you just tribute him. You actually tribute him, and then you just destroy their board a second time. Play 1 copy of Totally Awesome, one of the best boss monsters ever printed. Unfortunately, it's really sad. Paleozoics kind of suck in this metagame because they only have 1 Totally Awesome, but we only need 1 Totally Awesome, so everything's fine. 2 copies of Meow Meow. You can actually bump it to 3. I play 2. It's no big deal. 3 copies of Doodle Doo. 1 copy of the Bow Wow Bark. 1 copy of Rip and Roar and Rooster. This guy's actually kind of important for the combo. I might actually bump him to 2. Some of these ratios are a bit off because I just had like weird amounts of cards. I was actually going to add a Nightmare Phoenix too, but it doesn't really matter. The deck did fine without it. Did I talk about this card? Searches on summon. This is one of your most important cards. It searches on summon. On top of searching on summon, you contribute it to add any 2 Prank Kids cards from your graveyard to your hand. This is the one that during your opponent's turn you contribute and then add 2 Prank Kids cards from your graveyard to your hand. So this is during your turn. This is during your opponent's turn. Doodle Doo is the most important card in the entire deck. Rip, Roar, and Rooster is another really important, kind of important one. This one's just really good against backrow decks. You tribute it, pop all of your opponent's spawn trap cards, and that's about it. And then, of course, we've got Axis Code Talker just to finish off games. But that is the entire deck, and I will actually provide you guys with some combos because I understand some of you have not ever played the deck, so I'm going to provide you with some combos on how to use this deck a little more efficiently. Alright guys, we are now in the combo portion of this video. I realize we've switched websites, and that's completely fine. We're not on Master Duel just because I don't know how to set up their like combos and how to show combos on there, but I do know how to set this up on Dueling Nexus. But this combo works completely the same exact way, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So for the Prank Kids combo, all you need is any 1 Prank Kids monster. That's all you need, just a Prank Kids monster and any card, because Roxy's requires you to discard. So all you need is, just like I said, 1 Prank Kids monster. What you're going to do is you're going to normal summon your Prank Kids monster, and you are going to link it away for the link 1 monster. And now, since this was sent to the graveyard, the Lampsies, we can activate it. It'll burn our opponent for 1,000, and then we can special summon any Prank Kids monster other than itself. So we're going to special summon the Fansies. Always try to special summon the Fansies second. So now we are going to go to the next part, which is Doodle Doodle Doo. We are going to link away the Fansies and the Meow Meow. In order to special summon the Doodle Doo, activate Fansies Chainlink 1, Doodle Doo Chainlink 2. Doodle Doo will add us any Prank Kids spawn trap card, which will add Pandemonium, which is our in-archetype spell, the in-archetype fusion spell, and we're going to dump the Prank Kids prank. And then we're going to add special summon the next Prank Kids monster, which will be the Dropsy. So basically, we're just going to cycle out of all of the Prank Kids monsters, and at the end, we're going to end on like I said, the double Raigeki. Now we're going to activate the polymerization equivalent of the deck, the Pandemonium. We're going to summon Rocket Ride. This lets us summon a monster during our turn. It's like a double monster reborn on our turn. We're going to activate Dropsies in the graveyard, and you can actually chain block with Rocket Ride right here, make it lose 1,000, and then it can attack directly. So now we're going to summon the last Prank Kids monster we haven't summoned yet, which is going to be the Roxy's. And now we're going to activate the effect of the Rocket Ride, tributing itself in order to special summon 2 Prank Kids monsters from the graveyard. Doesn't really matter which ones, as long as it's one of the red, green, and blue ones. So we're going to summon those guys, the green, and the Doodle Doo. Now we're going to activate Doodle Doo to add back the pranks and to add back Pandemonium. These are generally the better ones to take. Now from here, we are going to make the wolf. I'm sorry, not the wolf. We're going to make the, the wolf bark. We're going to activate the graveyard effect of Roxy's to banish a random card in our hand, which is, of course, that random impermanence. And then we're going to special summon our last Prank Kids monster. Again, just make sure it's one of the red, green, or blue ones. That's all you basically have to end on there. Summon that, and this is basically our end board. It does not seem like a huge deal, but I assure you it is. So we're going to set the Pandemonium. We're going to activate the pranks. And this is extremely consistent. You can do this every single time. And this is our random card, so I'm not going to count it. We're going to end our turn here. The Prank Kids prank is going to activate. It's going to allow us to shuffle back 3 monsters from our graveyard into our deck, and then draw a free card, which we're going to do. We're going to shuffle back 1, 2, and it doesn't really matter. Generally, I go for these 3, so we can use them next turn. And what's cool about this deck is if you draw hand traps, you can obviously use them, which is an awesome part of just this deck. Does very well with a lot of hand traps because you can do this end phase draw and then draw a hand trap every single time. And then we can use the effect of Bow Wow Bark. During our opponent's main phase, we can activate the effect of Bow Wow Bark and contribute itself in order to special summon to add back 2 Prank Kids cards from the graveyard to our hand, which we're going to do now. We're going to add back basically what we don't have on the field. We have the water one, so we're going to add the fire and the wind one. And now that we have all 3 in our hand, we're going to activate the effect of Pandemonium in order to special summon our Battle Butler. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Special summon it right there. And we're going to activate all 3 effects all over again, which is awesome. This deck just continues to play and play and play and play. So we're going to burn. We're going to special summon a Prank Kids monster. And then we're going to gain life points, and we're going to special summon a Prank Kids monster. And then we're going to send a card, which we can send the trap just in case our opponent attacks. And then we're going to special summon another Prank Kids monster. And that's what's good about this deck. It just continues to go and go and go. It summons so many times. It completes so many of the various missions because it gains life points. It burns life points. It summons like 25 monsters in a duel. But this is the important part of it. During our opponent's turn, we contribute our Battle Butler to destroy all monsters they control. And since we have Meow Meow in graveyard, we can just banish it instead. That'll destroy all of our opponent's monster. And this is not a once per turn effect. So if our opponent did manage to special summon more monsters, I would have just activated it again and destroyed their monsters twice. So it's basically a twice per turn total Raigeki every single time. And depending on what hand you had, you could have done so much more with it. Now here's what you can do some cool tricks here. These are some cool tricks that I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to make just to show you an example here, the Link one, and we're going to activate the Link one to special summon from the deck, and I'm going to special summon this one right here, which is the Fansies. And now we're going to activate the Thunder Dragon, and this is why Thunder Dragon is so good in the deck. You add 2 more Thunder Dragons, but now since we activate a Thunder Dragon, we can just go into a Thunder Dragon Colossus. Pretty damn awesome. But yeah, that is one of the combos. I'm going to show you a quick combo for what you do when you play against backrow decks. Like really, really annoying backrow decks. They are so persistent on there. So I'm going to show you the next combo, which is how you deal with backrow decks. Alright, so this is combo number 2. This one, like I said before, this is one that you need to play around backrow. So I showed you the one to play around monsters. Now I'm going to show you the one to play around backrow. This deck is very versatile. It can play around either. So this is the combo to play around backrow. You always need another card with the whole Prank Kids deck because you have to banish one for Roxy's in order to draw a card. You have to resolve that effect to do the full effect. So in this particular case, I'm actually going to use a Thunder Dragon. So I'm going to end on the ability to destroy our opponent's back row twice in a row, and then on top of that, we're going to end on a Thunder Dragon Colossus. So we're going to activate Thunder Dragon Colossus. It's always the first thing you want to do. You want to bait the Ash. You want to bait whatever you want to do, so that you can actually resolve your real combos. If your opponent ashes Thunder Dragons, whatever, you just don't go into Colossus. You just do your regular plays. Your opponent thinks you're playing Thunder Dragons. You fooled them. It's great. So we're going to normal summon the Lampsies. Same thing as before. You can start with any Prank Kids monster. It doesn't matter. We're going to link it away for Meow Meow. We're going to activate the effect of Lampsies in graveyard to special summon from our deck. Don't special summon Fansies yet. Just wait on that. Special summon the Dropsies. And then we can link these 2 away for Doodle Doo. Activate the effect of Dropsies in graveyard. Chain link 2, Doodle Doo, so you can chain block from Ash. And then we can add a Pandemonium to our hand, gain 1,000 life points, and special summon the next one, which in this particular case is going to be the Roxy's. And now this is going to look a little bit weird, but we're going to link away the Doodle Doo and the Roxy's for another Doodle Doo. And we're going to activate the effect of Roxy's, banish to draw a card, and then special summon a Prank Kids monster from our deck, which will be the Fansies. Now from right here, we're going to special summon this Fancy. We're going to tribute this Fansies to summon a Thunder Dragon Colossus. So now our opponent is locked out of adding cards to their hand, and we're going to activate the Doodle Doo in order to add back 2 Prank Kids monsters. One of them has to be Fansies. The other one doesn't matter. And now we're going to activate the effect of Pandemonium. We're going to make a Rocket Ride using these two. And we have not used the effect of Fansies yet, so we can activate Fansies and then activate Rocket Ride Chainlink 2. The Fansies will have to send a card. Always send Plan right now because we can't add it back. So this has the only graveyard effect, which is good. And then we're going to activate the other effect to summon any Prank Kid. It doesn't even matter. Activate the effect of Rocket Ride. Tribute itself to special summon 2 monsters. We're going to summon the Doodle Doo and the Lampsies. It doesn't really matter which one. We now have the material for a Link 4 right here. So we're going to link all 4 of these away in order to special summon the Rip Roarin' Rooster, which, if you don't know, this is a Harpy's Feather Duster on your opponent's turn. Basically, you tribute it, Harpy's Feather Duster your opponent's back row, meaning you destroy all of their spawn trap cards. And then on top of that, since we have the Meow Meow in the graveyard, we can banish this instead, and then we can just destroy their back row a second time. So we can stop this from tributing itself, destroy their back row, and if they persist with the annoying back row, we just do it twice. Very important for Master Duel. Not as important in the regular Yu-Gi-Oh combo. Like in a regular standard Prank Kids deck, this is not like a very important thing to do. But in this particular game, this is incredibly important. You have to do this combo, just because playing against back row is a very, very rough time. So definitely a pretty darn important situation there. And then, of course, we did end on top of it all on a Thunder Dragon Colossus, which is pretty awesome. But that's it. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this, if you want more Prank Kids videos or other specific deck profiles for Master Duel, let me know. And again, thank you for watching. La, 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 la.